Hey, it's Coach Jay.
And Coach Will.
We got another one for you here today. This one is a follow-up to our video about being able to hold your space. The most important skill in the game of basketball, actually, is your ability to hold your space and
Absolutely.
hold off the defense and back them up just a little bit and make space. This is what follows after that. Any player that can do this is always at an advantage because they will be thinking, they'll be operating with better information than everybody else on the court. So this is the, if you're a player who can do this, coaches will notice you and appreciate you.
Yep.
And that is attack to score, whether you're scoring or whether you're going to kick to somebody to score, to
Right.
create a score.
Yep.
After you have looked.
Yep. And I think the important part of it is you're playing off information that you're receiving. So catch, look, and attack. So many times, and many young players or inexperienced players, sometimes even experienced players do this, is they will just make an attack and it's just like, it's too quick, it's instant, and it's without picking up any information about where the open space is or where their teammates are. And so that's the value of taking a quick second, dominating your space or controlling your space, looking and finding out information before you make an attack.
It is, so you might not be the quickest player, you might not even be the most skilled player, but if you can hold your space, and if you can get your eyes up off of the floor and look through your defender to see space behind them,
that's right.
Then if you'll look first, then attack.
Look first and
it's
attack.
Fantastic. So we've seen players in Europe that will get very good at looking even while they're running, even before they catch it. There are some Europeans, because they have a 24-second clock, even in youth basketball in Europe, there are some of them that are so effective at reading their defense even before they catch it, so that they can immediately, as soon as it hits their hands, they can immediately attack.
Yeah, it's almost like they're taking snapshots as they're moving.
Pop,
pop, pop. They're running and they're reading not only the person that's guarding them, but they're reading space on the floor and teammates all at the same time.
Yes.
And this is a skill just like any other skill that can be developed, just like footwork and dribbling and ball handling, all those things. It's understanding how people are playing, where open space is, and what is my best mode of attack, and how fast can I recognize it and attack it.
So you've earned the right to make an attack without being fussed at.
Right.
If you have looked first.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you've caught and you've looked, then you've earned the right to make an attack. Now, your best bet is to catch, and don't dribble yet. Catch, hold off your defense, look through your defender, and look and read, so that then when you attack, now you've earned the right. So you could explain to any coach or any person, hey, I looked, I saw open space over there, so I attacked that direction.
Right.
Yeah. So this is how you earn the right to make an attack. You look first. Right? So
based on information.
That's it. And so we have a clip from a former National Player of the Year talking about how important this is. So let's take a look at this.
My son is 13, and he just did something on the court the other day that made me so happy because
what's that?
You know, the game isn't all about dribbling and shooting and passing. Part of the game of basketball is reading the defense and knowing where to go in terms of spacing on the court. And finally, I saw my 13-year-old boy do something on the court the other day that showed me that he's learning the game and learning about spacing and learning about, where to go in relation to the defense. So that was a lot of fun for me to see.
Is there any part of your game that he does have already?
Yes, the one part of my game that he has already is something that I've been drilling into his head since he was 6 years old. And that is, when you catch the ball, son, do not dribble right away. Catch the ball, face your hoop, and don't dribble. Save your dribble.
That is a great idea.
And that's something that my father taught me, and that's something that Coach K used to yell at us every day of our lives at Duke. Catch and face. Don't dribble right away.
To train for catching and looking, attacking, you have to play a game where your whole goal is you don't make any attacks until after you've looked. And so the chances are what you have to do is anytime you catch it, you do not immediately bouncing. Because we've seen enough players, I can name names, and I love them all, but I can name names of people who when they catch it, they start bouncing, and then they start looking. And then they're going to attack. You're giving up a speed advantage. One player who's probably one of the quickest players we've ever been around, we convinced to play this way, and then she went to another level. When she learned to catch and look first, then attack. Then nobody could stay in front of her. She was always in a hurry because she thought she had to go now because she was fast.
That's right.
She's always going to be fast. They're never going to catch her. So if she catches and if she catches and looks, nobody's going to stop her.
Sure.
She's going to become even faster.
Even faster because the defense is at a stop position, and now it's a race.
Yeah, it really is, right? So she's always going to be fast.
She's always going to be fast.
An hour, she starts later.
That's right.
So
Sure.
catching and looking. So let's talk just for a moment. What are you looking for? So you're looking for the position of your defender.
Position of the defender.
Right? Like you're a defender. So if your defender's guarding you,
proximity.
If your defender's guarding you contact, you're going to have to use a high rip or low rip to get out of there or a kickstand move.
Sure.
Right? If your defender's guarding you tight,
okay,
you got some jabs
That's
and
when
fakes,
that's when we can
right?
start
if he
manipulating.
Shake me, then he
right.
can go. Right? If your defender is playing off, that's shoot.
Shot fake or shot.
Yes, shot, fake, or shot.
Yep.
So that's what you're looking for. That's your starting point on this. Can you see where the defense is? Now, what else might you be looking for?
So it's a couple major things that I'm looking for primarily. After the defense, looking for lanes of attack. So open space that I can potentially drive into and attack the basket to either score for myself or to create offense for a teammate. I'm also looking for a location of my teammates, right? Because if someone's in a certain area, I don't want to make an attack that's going to drive on top of that player.
That's right.
So I need to know where they are and reading if they're looking to make a cut. Because see, you can tell.
Look, I've seen so many people that don't look before they attack, and then their teammate can't cut because they're running right out over top of the
Absolutely.
cut, right?
So you can tell you can anticipate when a teammate is cutting based on how they're moving.
And if you're not looking,
you will not see that.
Your teammates are cutting.
So you have to be looking and reading primarily those second. I would say that's the order.
Right.
For me as an offensive player, I'm typically looking for my defender first, reading the proximity of that defender, and that's going to determine how I can attack that defender.
And lanes.
Then I'm looking for lanes as I'm looking for teammates.
And then you're looking at where's the help defense going to come from.
Absolutely.
So if you get in the habit of playing based on what you see, you're going to maximize any skills that you have.
Yep.
And you're going to maximize any speed and athleticism that you actually have.
And that goes back to the beauty of what we've talked about in earlier conversations about the various ranges to score from. Because if I can score from multiple ranges, then I can make my read based on the space that's available, and I can pull out the tool or I can pull out the skill that's going to allow me to score from whatever range is available. So,
right. Instead of the player who can only score deep range or long range or at the rim,
right.
who's like, there's no use in me reading. These are the only two I can get.
Exactly.
Right? So
exactly.
You become this all-around player.
Yep.
When you can score at all these ranges, then when you read, you just take what the defense gives you.
You can take what's available. That's right.
So the way to practice this is like this. Somebody passes you.
Yep.
You got a teammate over there just passing to you, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
you want me to stand here?
Yeah,
yep.
you're there. So teammate passes to you. You catch and look.
Right.
That's how you practice this.
That's how you practice it.
Going back to you. You're
Catch and look.
looking.
Catch and
the
look.
idea is get your eyes up off of the ground.
Yep.
To the defense. Now, then the next thing you can do is you can do a 1-on-0. Mm-hmm. All right. You're my. That's a 1-on-0. Now you're my teammate.
This is one.
You're helping me. So
okay.
Now we check. You give it to me, and you give me a different read every time. So if you have a friend, get a friend who will guard you, either tight, touching you, like either contact, touching you, or right here. So I got to figure out how to make a read on this, right? And then I'm.
Yep.
Right? Mm-hmm. So it's like that. You just check, and the teammate gives you a different read every time. Okay, he's here, so I got shot faker, and I got shot, right? Mm-hmm. So that's how you do this.
Yep.
Then you go 2-on-2. So 1-on-0, just catching the ball, and just looking. One-on-one, catching and reading your initial defender.
Sure.
Then now you got 2-on-2.
Right.
Now you're trying to read space.
Right.
That is how you practice this.
Sure.
Every player who makes a investment of workouts like this, then when they get in that 5-on-5, they've got a habit of reading rather than just trying to hammer it through. Right? All right. We'll go give it a go.
Give it a go.
And we'll see how it goes.